Oh, but yeah, it's been a bit since we had a GD teaser over here. Been like a long bit. It's been like a little over like close to 3 months, so actually since I last checked over here. But yeah, we got a JD teaser for you with the greatness of Scythia. It's a big old teaser over here. This teaser is gonna be showing off all the paths that Scythia go down to. Keep in mind, this will not be within the beta or the demo, whatever which one it was. Will be in the full release over here, which maybe sometime over the summer. I don't know. There's been some things going on with the dev team over there. I'm not gonna get into it because it's personal stuff. Man, I don't even know, to be honest with you, but there's just some personal things over here. So I don't know this when it's actually come out over here, but I wish the best for them. And we're gonna get to see all the paths over in here. Very much am interested in quite a few of these actually, to be honest with you. Very much interested over here. So, the green vase triumphant over here. There's a nice portrait of Coconut over there. Very different one than the one I saw from a long while ago, actually. Anyway, over here, these are the natural spirits and effects over here. We're gonna be reading the spirits over here, and then we're gonna read his portrait thing. Sorry. Vest and resistance. Pretty crap. Minus 2% recruit population, stability and war support, and increasing growth resistance speed. From the Intermarium territories. The conquest of the Intermarium may have truly legitimized Scythia's population, but there are many drawbacks to this trap. Mainly the introduction of aggressive and brutal partisans of Scythia's already unstable political scene. Scythia's military is weak and divided, is unable to deal with this massive threat, and there's very realistic outright rebellion from the former Intermarium states. I think they actually can rebel, from what I've heard over here. I don't know when they do, I just know that they can. So it is something I'm going to be looking into a little bit more if it ever comes to light over here. In the ways over here. Maybe shit over here. But we got the Scythian hold over here. Division speed +5, not bad. Org, it's nice, whatever. Crew population -5, so you just get +3. Consumer goods +10, We only possess the greatest army in the world, a mighty fort that sparks fear and terror in the hearts of our enemies. While the jingoistic chant is common among Scythia, the truth is that our army is woefully inept. Despite the necessity of uniting Russia and destroying each among our military has become slow, miserable, and incompetent. There are three main causes of the decline in our military powers. First, the size of our army requires far more supply than we can produce. Secondly, some of our data could dates back to the 1920s. Jesus. Finally, the rate of ideological devotion in our army, while showing that it's loyal to us, has to draw reducing confidence in the military's high epsilon. So it's similar to how similar to Germany and our time over here, where ideological fanaticism triumphs competent officers because you know they want to do dumb shit, glory to the first man die and all that stuff. Very much not exactly that great. And then Vosko-Boynik's influence, that's Konstantin Vosko-Boynik over here, yeah. Konstantin Vosko-Boynik is one of the Gorgala's most powerful advisors and one of the main figures that keep the Scythian regime afloat. Always influential in recent years, Gorgalav become increasingly aged, his power has only grown. There are plenty of suspicion within Scythia that Vosko-Boynik has his own ambition separate from Gorgalav and that he's plotting. Though what he's plotting to still elucidate knowledge. Well, we're gonna see a little bit of what that is. And obsolete industry. Yeah, so we got -20. Drift. Yeah, we it's like late at the we aren't exactly in a great state. We're pretty shit. Scythia may be a massive sprawling state in one of the major parts of the world, but it is still remains as lacking as it is in the 1940s. The state's favoritism towards agricultural pursuit has certainly not helped matters. Admittedly, the addition of much of Russia's into Mars industrial centers has helped the issue, but Scythia is still a long way before it could reach an industrial powerhouse. Yeah, it's sort of we're sort of like in whole like industrialization phase over here still in Russia. Except though we're kind of hamstringing ourselves over here because of our Scythian ways and our primitivist life, primitivist thing, and heavy focus on agricultural stuff over here. So we have the might. We're kind of like a glass cannon. Like we definitely are powerful, but we're not as powerful as we could be because we're kind of screwing ourselves over, and these aren't exactly that great over here. The boy Pavel Gogolov. Pavel Timofeyevich Gogolov, ruled the nation in an iron fist from the Baltic Sea to the Pacific. Russia, or as Gogolov has rechristened it, Scythia, is the land of Gogolov and Gogolov alone. That is what he would want you to think. In reality, Gogolov is a man with his best days behind him and whose future is increasingly bleak and unpleasant. Born in Kuban in 1895, Gogolov went embarked on a career in medicine, lifestyle that would quickly swap for life of a soldier when Russia found itself fighting in the Great War. Out against for son, each front, Gogolov changed career again, becoming a politician in his home region. He saw the central government of Petrograd become more weak and the Caucasus drift away from central Russia, becoming an entity called the Southeastern Union. Because he can take over power there. I haven't played South Union in a while, so I don't basically. I think it was like an election thing that he could come to power in. And then since Gogolov gained enough influence, he meant to take over the Union, declared the beginning of the Peasant Republic, the Russian National Peasant Republic. There's a phone over here before it becomes Great Scythia. Gogolov was not content with just the Caucasus Island, quickly about the crusade, united the divided Russian Empire with his brutal, terrifying forces. Gogolov changed charge into Central Asia, started down to the region, and then the Tamar invasion of the central government, reconquering Moscow itself. Soon afterwards, he divided the disparate Siberian states and his final conquest in Tamarium, regained Russia's western territory, working to give a free to him during the invasion of Central Russia, like Konstantin Vasco-Bonnet and Mikhail Tukhachevsky, my beloved. Gogolov established total power over Scythia, but slowly becoming increasingly depressed with this subordinates establishing a power base and influence outside Gogolov's control. Without many friends, even the wife Gogolov increasingly turned to battle to bury his anxieties and loneliness, leading increasingly unstable both personally and politically. Gogolov has seen much better days over there. His reactionary nationalism. Under Pak Zelindik. Now the primordial horde anymore. Pact. It is now the Pact. Zelindik. Did I say that? But I'll be sure to name a series if I do pass for the primordial horde over here in honor of that. I shall name that should be the title of it, should be the primordial horde in honor of that. The primordial horde's a pretty cool note here. While the Green Wars triumphs, a new crusade may begin. The whole Eurasia war thing. If I remember, I'll link the super event to the Eurasian War. Somebody already did over here, so I'm not gonna do it. So I'll just link the video to whoever did. I think I remember a guy over here. I'll find it. I'll find it somewhere here, and I'll link it in the description. Anyway. Few experts expected the fragile peace that engulfed Asia after the conclusion of the Red Flood could last, the Red Flood being the Second World War, this time the Second World War. Today, their predictions have come true. Scythia, Japan, the Mad Burns run by a World War gun. Conflict began with the Japanese seeing the chance to start down to the entirety of East Asia, simultaneously attack both the remnant of the living Buddha, Sternberg, as well as the last remnants of the Chinese war in the southwest, the military districts. While Tokyo expected this would be a quick war, spirited offensive by the Buddhists and Chinese would force them into a potential conflict. When Scythia wishing to reclaim its affairs of Zaporozhye and Buryatia, held by the Japanese and Buddhists respectively, had gladly taken advantage of. When Scythian troops are now poured over to Mongolian Manchurian borders, the world watching with bated breath. Whoever visited conflict, whether it be the Scythians, Japanese, or even Buddhists, raised undoubtedly, but to be drenched in a sea of blood. Final Latin war in Asia, classic blunder, as per usual. So it can be lost to Makala, to be in Sternberg, or Shime, on one. You'll see the you'll read the loss and then the one. Anyway, Sternberg victory. Bekov Krava over Asia. Shock first to war today, but the Scythian and the Japanese armies were utterly destroyed by the militant Buddhists of Manhakala, formerly known as Baron Ungurd. It is an impossible feat of tactic and grand strategy. The forces of the Mad Baron were able to disrupt the front line of both factions, using an Orthodox uprising in Siberia and Buddhist insurrection in Manchuria. Although peace deal was signed the for both losers, with Scythian hordes pushed back beyond the Ural Mountains and the Federation troops retreating completely from China, hiding behind the jungles of Indochina and the mountains of Korea, going as far as the return one day dynasty of Ming, aside from assigning Orthodox theocracy in Siberia. The world speculates in terror. I hit the. Sorry, I knocked something over real quick over here, so I took a pause over there. I do apologize for that one. Anyways, the world speculates in fear terror with the next Turtleback Hall may be, and while some speculate he will stop simply unable to govern the lands of Caspian Sea to the Pacific. Some are okay to become an incarnation of Genghis Khan, meaning Asia once again drown in blood, but neither of these rumors can be confirmed with a line. Given the mental state of the current hegemon of the continent, the wheel of Sansara has been again. I can't remember what Sansara was. I've heard of Samsara. It's like a little thing from SCP stuff. I can't remember what Sansara is. Fuck. Damn it. I can't remember. I need to double check something over here real quickly. Did that over here? So I know I'm pausing this again over here. I'm very professional at work over here. You're watching professionalism anyway, but yeah, I gotta double check real quick. So, yep. Sorry about that. I'm very professional at my stuff that I do. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, over here, that's Sternberg's whole little thing over here. I'm very curious to see how Sternberg's gonna be at most of all. Curious to see how well his Pan-Asianism will play out. Anyway, having to go Asia. As the favorite troops continue to advance deeper into the former Russian lands, we state the Scythian horses and the Buddhist preachers show little to no effectiveness against the tide of modernity in the form of tanks, planes, and armored rifles. The only thing holding the Federation from committing itself into full liberation of Russia is the leadership of Tokyo. Marks over the traditional category of Asian peoples, so not very well received by the government, leading the river of the Far Eastern Republic, by the way. But still signing a peace treaty with Scythian field commanders. That's a typo right there. And with the huge part of Siberia, Central Asia, from the hordes now whole of former Qing and land of the Irtysh River are taking form of socialist republics, all in the vision to guide Tokyo. Great parades on Tokyo large-scale ceremonies proceeding every city of Tokyo to Sydney from Rangoon and Vladivostok. Oh yes, Japan took over Australia in this timeline. I think it's the People's Republic of Oceania. I haven't seen the map teasers, and even then, I don't even know if that's still its full name or not. So, let's see. In celebration of unity of Asian peoples, are now fully united in the banner of peace, international, and socialism. The former rebellions expelled for sure. Expelled for sure. Anyway, the Scythe over Asia winning. The bloodshed Eurasia officially come to an end with the expected victory of the Scythian army, utilizing their famed party and tactics of autonomous horse squads mixed with mobile artillery and heavy weapons. In which case, autonomous motor squads. Because if we're playing, we ain't using them damn horses. We're modernizing this cavalry, boy. Anyways. The Scythian army managed to rapidly breach with the Buddhists and lay the Pan-Asian defenses, as all sides of exhausted diplomatic mission for Scythia and East Asian Federation have reached a deal transferring northern Manchuria, Sakhalin Islands to the Scythians. At the same time, the lands of the former Baron remains under complete control of the Scythians for new public governments of their field commanders. So I'm assuming took over like Mongolia, Altai. It's about. Assuming the rest will be the puppet leaders. The world is shocked, but the villagers get there for the first time in many years see a luxury like meat and alcohol. 1,000 soldiers return to be with the state midday feast of parties, mimicking the ancient tribe position. All while the Federation see the eternal prices of remnants of Mongolian Buddhists still haunt that occupy Mongolia. Asia be trimmed over here. So we win. The Vars will die by accident. Gogolov nervously walked back and forth, all while taking careful and small sips of green tea from a small cup of gold. He couldn't save a sour weeks by this point. His heart was on his last leg, going to overdrive. He looked back at the big map Eurasia pinned on the wall and countless small flags horse over the front lines. Eurasian, Japanese, Buddhist troops. Although he had to stand at arm's length to see them, eyes were fading too. They were all red, and underneath them, like the V of Gogol, enormous bag, almost pitch black. His uniform was messy, stained by places by drops of alcohol in the ash of shags. Is bristle and slowly turning into a beer by this point as well. They look back at the window widely opening, taking a long look over Moscow, but like a vampire, he had to hide himself in the sunlight a few seconds. Trying to adjust himself after nearly a month of isolation, the walls of equivalent small tears began to form for him as he looked over the landscape. His lips turned disgusted. He saw the smokestack in the distance. He started off to liberate Russia from her chains of modernity and weakening mediocrity. He fought so that she could be free and return to her true self, into the forest and in the meadows where people found comfort and love. And now he was forced to subdue himself to the mercy of the machines, fighting the heretical fanatics and pesky Reds, both of whom were responsible for tearing the motherland apart thousands of kilometers away. Using those same machines, he swore to overcome with the violets and it almost made him puke. It wasn't just that. He barely ate today. He hadn't even had a single snack a day before. But now started to feel him at a grip at his weakest. As he gripped at a weaker point, all his life began to strengthen. He couldn't hold back the tears anymore. He thought of how the courage of that Mahakala and a corrupt church with souls up to him was slowly gaining upon him, like vultures over the wars of ancient tide. His face was illuminated with nothing but pure rage. Foam going from his mouth and blood dripping from his nose as unwillingly leaned to the windowsill. He felt like his stomach was tearing itself apart. His heart started to accelerate even more. He made a final cry, deep and terrible, as if he was charging down the enemy in a saddle, as he always dreamt of. If it wasn't for a single accident when the soldiers took his cow, the riot birds dropping, no one would have noticed the vase falling out the window. But even as the whole complex was raised and the alarm was tooted, the green vase was not there anymore. He had won many wars in both the east and the west, but could not master time in the human body. So basically, it's sort of like a final, to not, like, you know, die of dies just being bedridden and all that. He decides to be like, you know what, since that one though, fuck it, and then he just jumps off a fucking building. Because like, hey, I'm old and frail, my body's fleeing around me, I might as well go out on my own and not, you know, fucking suffer to death. And so yeah, that's basically this. And then Nuvod will take over the throne over here. I see you. See you here. We'll get to you last over there because you're the one I'm very interested in. But anyway, we shall see about Constantine Voskobuynik. Also reactionary nationalism. Constantine Pavlovich Voskobuynik was born as a peasant and lived as a peasant for most of his life, starting from his birth in the year 1895. That's the same. It's the same as the 1895. Yeah, they're born at the same time. Neat. In a family of railroad worker in a small village near Kiev, his youth was forced from Anatolia so until the Great War in the West collapsed in his motherland. Constantine was quick to join the revolution, starting his first career as leader of the peasant squad of Tambov. Before discovered designated by gas shells, forcing him to run back and hide in his native Ukraine. Returned to his hometown, saved only by the depth of the Dnieper. He really enjoyed the UPSR before breaking off from Hiroshev's movement due to drifts to the left. He was about the only man in Ukraine to see the initial triumph into Mars, a disappointment in the siege of Kiev by the Scythians as a triumph. He joined up in a small peasant squad, seized his hometown, and proclaimed the Scythian autonomy, and got ever closer to the high soil of Scythian political life thanks to his knowledge of everyday peasantry, psychology, and lifestyle. His aim to crack down over the former Tamarian lands made him the right hand of the Green Vase, Gogolov himself. Yes, the right hand of the Green Vase. Now he sits there on the Scythian throne. He can dedicate his enemy to himself, the peasant and the toiler. While Gogolov has achieved much, Constantine Pavlovich shall elevate the Scythian horde to new heights. Even the legacy of the Vase will be revised over and over again for the sake of blood and soil. Yes. There's some interesting parallels between the Nats sucks. The Sucky and the Nats over here. Also interesting advisor, by the way. I barely recognize some of them. But yeah, this is Voskobuynik over here. He's basically like the status quo candidate. To use TNO terminology, he's basically like a continuing the Scythian thing and all that stuff. But the secret speech. And also, before we get into that, here, Voskobuynik, fun facts about him. He was a collab of Germany during World War II. He served in the Lokmot autonomy. If I remember correctly, he was the head. He headed that until 42, where he got killed during a partisan uprising, I think. And then he was taken over by none other than Belislav Kaminsky, the much more famous of the pro-German Russian collabs. Over here, so a little interesting fact about him. And over here, let's see who speaks. There's a reference to Tolstoy's speech that was it Khrushchev? I think it was Khrushchev over here. What was the line? I can't remember. Anyway, Voskobuynik clears throat, appropriate old microphone which would date back to the early 30s and has the same quality. But I tell him a few periods and a small glass of water. Before him, a great hall of generals and what could be said politician, most of the peasant origins. Some were outright elders coming from fairy tale with beards almost reaching their chests. Damn. He said attached by home with true Titanic. Men of Scythia have gathered here to hold a talk regarding our future. You know our motherland is surrounded by enemies on all sides, communists to the east and south, and the degenerate Europeans to the west. And between them stands nothing but the vastness of our people's lands. We have a problem, and that comes with our weapons, our thinking, our everything. While our age move forward, we are stuck in one place. But say to me, wasn't it because of the natural creativity of the Scythians that we beat many enemies before? Wasn't it because of our innovative culture that the people of the West all breathe midst of us? Some may say the fires of industry cultivate the seed of our eternal green void, but I object, for he himself wanted to purify Scythia first before giving it a new chance, and henceforth, I think it is clear that we need a change as well. After all, we don't do it like the pesky loose, well, for the sake of so-called proletariat or vicinists crushing the people of the self-ruling the artists, but for the people close to earth. Damn it, I can't speak today. I can't speak any day, by the way. For our hard-working peasants, so that our life will become better, will become more joyful. Before was almost 3-hour-long description of how everything would fundamentally change. Jesus Christ. That the peasants would start and more, the Scythian cavalry once again will have the best armor, and the Scythian borders will be pushed to the vine, and all over the world, hail go love with them Messiah. Oh, they're gonna do the final focus for Scythia, where you get war goals on pretty much all the majors. And so you go to war with pretty much the whole world. I think it was all the majors. I haven't done Scythia in Red Fire in a while, so I'm pretty sure it was all the majors, but also mean all the factions as well. So if I was a Scythia playthrough, there definitely is going to be something that we have to figure out how to do. Anyway, everyone clapped. They couldn't refuse it. Not because there's any sincere emotion in this. After all, many of them personally saw how even an inch given to the urbanites would lead to them taking a whole damn mile. Showing everything the farmer holds dear, but there was fear. Fear of Schalburg's men staying on the Rockies, most of them not even hiding their weapons. Although partially conceived of the dog, Vasco Boynik smiled, taking a short sip before proceeding to announce a full government reshuffle. We will play our role in history, indeed. But he might trust the wrong person. Oh yeah. The wrong person he might trust. We shall see who that is. A piece of luxury, if you will. Konstantin Pavlovich, please sit down, as Gumilyov set the ground for playing some of the old imperial waltzes. The house servant brought 2 cups of tea, a large size tea, and a few plates of delicious delicacies. But case the king is unseen Scythia since it's very funny. Both men relaxed in comfortable chairs, although Vasco Burns was a bit more open and careless after all. He was still a peasant, unknown to life of the aristocracy. I must congratulate you, almost sincerely. I'm glad to hear that our great nation will see the revival that is of the Romano-Germanics and the Asians under your vision. Oh yeah, that was a thing here as well. Of course, Lev Nikolaevich. After all, Scythians know how to adapt in the modern world. I honestly thought that men above the pedigree were bastards, but you prove otherwise. Several books have you read to become so smart. Literature is but a stepping stone, Konstantin Pavlovich. What matters is one's passion. If it shines bright, of course, one could even move the mountains. But in all honesty, Chekhov probably catches the best of the Peasantry War, exposing it for the beauty and hatred in unison. Vasco Boynik liked those remarks, although he hadn't really read much aside from some political literature. Those Scythian party writers like Bloch and Insunen. As Gumilyov poured him some green tea, he took a few sips and moments surrounding, especially the armament exhibit above the fireplace. Briefly arranged sabers and rifles. His vision got a bit brave, perhaps once again overworked. It's really something interesting. Say, wouldn't you be interested in joining me? A new government requires new ideas, especially from a man like you. Thanks for the offer, Konstantin Pavlovich, but I decline. This is suited for my rank. I am more of a fan of archaeology. Vasco Bonds laughed and finished the cup, although his vision got even more blurry and his stomach started to hurt. For example, this device. One of my expeditions in 1951 took it from Vucheg, called the Assassin's Teapot. Don't you like it? Roscoe Von let the cough with blood as he tried to stand up before collapsing on all fours and crawling to the window where he saw a few dozen armed vehicles and trucks approaching the Kremlin. Meanwhile, Gumilov standing near the fireplace, taking while the antiquated musket from the wall and pointing at his guest. And speaking of Chekhov and his gun, oh, I see what you did there. Gumilov. You made yourself rise over here. Look at this. Look at them icons over here. That looks nice. Looking nice there, Gumilov. I'm curious to see if you're gonna play out like your TNO counterpart over here. I think it's gonna be it's gonna be your constitutional dictatorship over here. I think it's gonna be a bit more nuanced, or at least a bit more entertaining. We shall see. Many things have tried to explain the world, why it was like it is, why it's ranked exactly this way, why the other. Lev Nikolaevich Gumilov was one of such men. Born on October 1st of 1912. He had to endure life with proud parental love and care. They both were alive, but his mother focused entirely on herself, drawing in riches and alcohol, while his father was busy in expeditions to Africa. Young Gumilov had to get on his own, eventually gain himself into poetry, but his true self started to develop after the Russian Revolution. His father had been killed by revolutionaries, and the mother distanced herself more and more from family affairs as his family still in the small city business desks. The line of life goes bleak ever thinks it's the 20s that little was known about guerrilla activities in Kolchak, Russia. But over after the years, which formed the current ruler of Eurasia, Lev Nikolaevich, at the approach of the future magnetic overness, the theory of Eurasianism was proposed by Duke Trubetsky. The people on the geography of the rest of what was once called the Russian Empire into one united, indivisible entity of Eurasians. People between two wars, the one being the Romano-Germanics and the Asiatics. The summer coup war Scythian invasions were tragic, however, as his mother fled to America after the buried city of Petrograd, saved from the Green forces, only the connection to the upper classes of the city, and hiding before he was forced to join the Scythian army, personally participating in taking Warsaw. Along many of his future allies and members of the aristocracy and the higher echelons of the officers. Final pinch struggle to his biography came out after the war. Once the Red Flush subsided and the federal peace resumed to the world, Kumailov embarked upon his own research, traveling upon secrecy to a futurist dominant Europe and socialist Japan, which only further cemented his determination of Eurasianism. As Le Soleil led Europe and Tokyo led Asia, bringing harmony to the own world, he returned to the motherland carrying in his mind a secret mission to unite all people of Vistula to the Pacific, from Kula to the Karakum deserts, into a harmonious family of equal rules under one banner, one idea, Eurasia. And as the green rod in his air are laying in the greatest Lev Nikolaevich has stepped into the seat of power, ready to bring the age of passion and power to the Eurasian super ethno state. Yes. We're still going to be doing that Eurasianism from TNO, I see. Very keen to see how this is going to play out this time over there. Very keen to see how this is going to be over here. Very interested. So that's, I'm assuming this is for when you win. Oh, the Vasco point that comes into power over here. We also got this thing over here to the right, well, on the left over here, where we lose. Assuming though, I'm gonna go we lose to Sternberg, really. But yeah, before we get into that over here, very interesting to see how this, depending on how you win or lose the Eurasian war over here, you get like different paths over here. Very keen on how each of them are going to play out over here. Like, can we keep Vasco Bornik's thing over here? Probably can over here. How your region would differ from its Tino counterpart over here. Very keen over that over here. And let's see if we get mentioned like Trubetskoy and all over here from Kazan and all that stuff over here. We shall see exactly. So if we lose the Eurasian war, then faith will induce people to a feat, and Rus will be redeemed. We'll see how redeemed it is later. Anyway though, the rise of Russia. Gogolov looked at the window. Despite the night, there was no dark. The giant space all around him in the quiver was filled with small lights and torches, short light directed at the ancient complex. He only had 300 swords at his disposal. He saw the bitter irony that this entailed. A Scythian vows, like the perverts the Greeks were, a last stand in the face of massive injury. The Spartans blocking the passage to the madmen, except that now there was no grand army coming to his aid. Brothers, sisters, all of Russian lands, all of fortunes and trades, all united under the banner of Christ. Gorilov felt the dread and cold sweat running down his spine as Kartachev started to speak before the enlarged masses. Strangely enough, soldiers refused to open fire. You are all here in the waiting of the answer to our plight. Why has Russian blood been spilled for nothing? Why is it the Haitians and the red rags beat back the Bogotas? I don't know what the rags are referring to actually. I know what the yellow is about. I do not know what the rags is, so let me know. Because I have no idea. Anyway, that's all because our Russian boys reluctant to meet Grana by the Jews and now sit back in the Kremlin. Why did I say it like that? The so-called Scythians, the father of the Khazars, the bastard bangers, and the David Star, which are Russians, might have beat not once. I need Christ to help me with this because I cannot say it. I cannot say a damn thing right now. I don't know why. Slave Vladimir has finished with the dark rumors of barbarism and bring the light of Christ upon this land. Remember our victories, how we beat the Huns, the Monsieurs, the Swedes, the Mongols. The face of Virgin Mary was falling. Our glory, our swords, and our bayonets were blessed by her and all the saints who died for Russia under Christ. And once we turn away from her, once we forget our roots and give away the offspring of Kate, we're beaten like blind dogs. The crowd erupted in furious cheers, raising their weapons chaotically. But this hour is ours. The time of vengeance comes. Let the one who is without sin breach the walls and New Jericho and fight salvation in the heart of our Lord. This was a tipping point. Massive and furious anger got to the walls and a massive barrage on machine guns and rifles were burning to start them. It took however less than an hour for the folks to breach the perimeter to find Gogolov and his cannon. Under heavy barricades, he slowly reached down the drawers, taking out his pistol. That's when he noticed that his ram had broken in the barricades as well, and the only except between a mob between the half-broken door. And he took the pistol to his chin and he fired up. just like Mr. Fazel. And over here we got a Rus that is being redeemed. Anton Vladimirovich Khrushchev was never a man of ambition. Born to a family of clerks and a miner, he stayed quiet as a man of God, and he always was. During the Great War, during the Revolution, during his stay in Delta Russia, he was silent. They gave up to issues above material grounds, to God. Only to him he answered, and only from him he find the answers to his questions in life. Why did the war turn away from his light? How to fix it? He thought when I welcome under the pietist regime, forced him to emigrate to central Siberia. That was when he was swept for the last time, as the whole world outstripped him, his leaving is nothing steady and behind. He was fortunate in hiding, but he didn't run east, he went west, right to the heart of the Scythian movement, meeting many people like him along the way. Through secret meetings, false names, mass preachings, and is known in Russia, going to the people, until his network, like a giant web, has seen in the echelons of the Scythian Orthodox Church. For many years he had waited, for many years he was forced to remain silent again and again, but as the cross of God reigns over Siberia, exposing the lies of the Scythianism, what the fuck? Here as his followers dethroned the green puppets from the Russian throne to a massive people's uproar, and now Spitsadze, the savior, will lead Russia to Ashatan, achieving the final salvation no matter what forces stand in the way and who or what must be sacrificed. Yeah, we got them, we got the religious fanaticism. Fun fact over here, if I remember correctly, these guys are going to be the closest to our timelines, World War II or Germany. Except this time, like, imagine World War II Germany, but religious fundamentalists instead of like fanatical pagans, if I remember correctly, with like, lip service to Christianity and all that stuff. Here we got fanatical orthodoxy, but Spasibo can't escape their fire. Indeed. The death of Kardashev. Kardashev slowly slipped into the page of the Bible as the light of candle slowly faded away under the dim half moon. He firmly kept one hand in his belt near the holster. The edicts of Satan were everywhere, it seemed, and not even the presence of Lady Mary and her angels were enough to stop them from getting onto the life of Spiller. He was an old man, but he was not yet done. He wouldn't allow any to use his age against him. He read how such things turned out. He wouldn't repeat the mistakes of the old era. He knew that no matter how hard they'll preach and stride, no matter how high he set the world like every heathen, even if the works of his truth university, it would never be enough. That scared him. No man could do this. But this was not man's work. The calm situation interrupted by a sudden bang on the open window, accompanied by the whistle of the wind. Garshov was quick to jump up, wasting the whole cartridge into the wall. As he breath became more and more nervous, he shouted to Doc, "Reveal yourself, another traitor in the ways of God's men, or the devil himself. I will not bend to you. I will finish what the Lord has failed to cleanse his world from your filth." He also didn't notice how his camera accidentally fell down in the table full of scripture started to burn. He turned around once more to see the flames consuming the grand account of class. He'd work in the whole scripture. For a man, whether he wore the robe of a priest or not, it was just a face. But he saw the face of the devil in it. As he saw his slanted greedy eyes, he saw the tongues of flaming form into claws slowly crawl towards him. And while any man would run away, he stood firm, for it was the final battle the Lord had sent him. Slay the devil himself to save Russia and the world. To enter the gates of heaven and join the army of archangels and lead the world into the second coming. He threw the pistol away and firmly grabbed the cross holding onto his leg, giving it a short kiss, and despite his half-broken body being thrown to the flame. The procession was quick. There weren't many people attending, and not much money was found in the street coffers to even cover such minor expenses. Evgeny Vagin, as he carried the coffin with the ashes of his teacher and master, thought that only one thing: his future reign, what a pain it would be. The country was devastated by the work of the Oprichniks, and the army was in disarray. The foreign powers were slowly getting closer to Russia's borders, and while all the country started to lack even such a basic thing as bread, and nation ruled by peasants even more than 2 decades by this point, he never ceased to snickered. If their God was truly up there, he would need his grace, for without Russia would truly descend into hell. Indeed, the new Spatzel would have to save Rus from the former one. Also, religious fundamentalists over here with the same things over here. Do you have the same? You got a whole different whole different cabinet over here. This was 50 of the same thing. Interesting. Anyways, Redeemed Rus 2.0. Evgeny Vagin. Blessed are the meek, and Evgeny Alexandrovich Vagin, and this perfect example of such a man. Born in 1938 near Peskov, he was but an infant when the Summer Coup War could war the collapse of the empire and the post and Scythian invasions happened around him and his family, which sadly was not to survive the oncoming massacres. His father, as some accounts suggest, was a devout Christian, protesting the destruction of the classical Orthodox Church by the Scythians, and now was all the guy's head removed by a scythe in front of a horrific perfect. God damn. But young Vegan stood. Then they came after his mother after several fabricated claims of a Jewish ancestry and genuine dissatisfaction by the government's radical plans. As they escaped through the window at the last second, he could see his house set on fire, the screams of pain faintly coming out before the entire building collapsed on itself, burning everything out of love on the ruined ash. He was raised in the Christian ethics and instincts of turning the other cheek, but something that could not forgive. And he quickly joined the strange and bizarre circle of anti-culture, quickly rising through the ranks as one of the most devout followers, could intercept the nickname Crusader, who, for controlling the popular uprising north once the Scythian project collapsing on itself, he was the one who secured the northern capital Petrograd for Kardashev, and was war by this by entering the high circle dispatched the men, creating him one of the highest positions in the Tower of the Age, where he just become a mature man, the overseer of the north. And with Kardashev and the rest had been guarding the rest. However, Vegan would be the only one left. The reign of Spetsnable turned into the second of Pristina, ravaging the entire country by ruins by sword and fire, with heads rolling around in 100,000, but they're rushing into a cross. And now she's dead, just like Theodore himself. And now Vegan is sent among the ruins, inheriting the territory rather than the country, burnt to the ground, emptying everything human. The only one who Kardashev didn't take with him, Russia is dying. And now it depends only on Vegan if she can continue to live or finally end her agony. I'll be curious to see if we can truly redeem this Rus. Definitely interesting thing to see how this Rus will be redeemed. Because I feel that would be interesting place to do, like trying to reminds me of this game over here. Frostpunk. There's a scenario where like the previous dude fucked over his city up. It's like a city building game, and so they sent. So you're the new head, so you have to try to fix the city and all this stuff. Get all the people out of here. So it's kind of like, you know, picking off from where like someone else has failed pretty badly in. So I felt that would be an interesting thing. Like you have to try to, as a vegan, you have to crush up. Though you see like his fanaticism reigns supreme over here, and as vegan though you have to try to figure out how to keep things stable, how to keep the Rus going. Though figure out fair to see if you can actually make things work or not. And I feel that would be interesting though. I would be curious to see a deep Rus managing to fucking come back over here, bouncing back over here. That would be an interesting little bits and babs and all that stuff. Definitely am curious about that one. But what I am though the most interested in the new Vaz over here. I'm assuming that this is gonna be winning over here, depending on it might be one of these two. I don't know though. Over here, but considering that both of them lead to this, we got Tugochevsky over here. Maybe not Tugochevsky with them focuses over here. Just let me know if I really like the focuses. The National Spirit, sorry. We don't have any focuses over here. The National Spirit's over here. Timocracy. Release from the most over here. But yeah, very much so like the art over here. Shout out to the artist, by the way. Anyway, Mikhail Tugochevsky, my beloved. Mikhail Nikolaevich Tugochevsky in Russian politics of the modern day. There is no other name that attracts fear, admiration, and quite often both at the same time. It's certainly a competent figure with visions of his grand motherland conquering the globe, packed with radical and orthodox ideas. Many political observers have established a firm string of parallels between the legendary French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte and the former Soviet commander Tugochevsky. Born in a family of poor noblemen in the year 1893, young Tugochevsky showed excellence in the science of war in the Alexandrov Military Academy, becoming one of his top 3 students. But the rival war forced him to abandon first study just 1 year before he could graduate. In the Great War, Tugochevsky viewed himself as a capable officer and a daring cavalryman, beating both the Austrians and the Germans when the Russian army was on the offensive, and almost instantly lost his faith once his own country abandoned him at Ladza. Surrounded on all sides by the Teutons who sent him to the place all prisoners feared, Ingolstadt. When the revolution in Germany broke out, he was pardoned by the socialist government, allowing him to return back home to the shallow remnants of his motherland, which instantly exploded into a civil war, which he held no loyalty to the weakened Kaiser monarchy that drove Russia to the ground. And who joined the revolutionaries, commanding Republican army across many fronts, from Transvolga to Turkestan, the Siberian retreat, and finally stabilization of the front in Zaltorosia. But the new republic didn't satisfy the men either, nor could Atlantis embark their novice. Instead, he turned to a different route. For back in Ingolstadt, he had abandoned his Orthodox faith and pursued to return to true Slavic roots. Dalsbog, Storyburg, and countless others with Pulvan, the Thunderer, above them all. When the Republic joined Japan, abandoning the cause of unifying Russia, he had lost faith once more. Signed and traveled inside of Russia as he heard rumors of a powerful force rejecting Christian degeneracy alongside the socialist capitalism, monarchism, and Germanic communism. Wow. That force of power grew up in the Scythian movement, and despite their poor opposition to turn ideology and views, Tukhachevsky had for once swallowed his pride and shook hands with the men. Soon becoming a chief advisor to many of his campaigns. By the time went on, the Scythian soldiers stopped at the borders of former Germany, and Tukhachevsky once more realized that he was betrayed. At Russia, he knew once was further beaten down by the destructive policies of Golov and the Greens. He clenched his future and rage and waited for the opportune moment. And it finally came, but the Green vows no more. Tukhachevsky, like Napoleon of old, took charge of the most promising power in the middle of the continent, and nothing holding him back anymore. He's ready to bring forth the plan for bringing Slavs into the level of glory they always deserve, by swords and torch, no matter the cost. Indeed, he's gonna go for rapid modernization over here. Very much into that modernization trade. It also means we have a bitchin' tank core from what I've heard. But since the Red Napoleon is too old over here, it feels bad, man. Last details of my show. And I still a goddamn Tukhachevsky caught violently into a napkin, leaving several blisters on snow white fabric. The cancer was slowly tightening his grip over his body, but he was far from done. A simple back to this one to take down Napoleon. He would rather like charging on the enemy with a saber, how he did with the Germans, Tsars, Poles, Bolsheviks, other soft scum. It took him a few seconds to stand up at this time. Lucius, by blood and spirit, and whether you want it or not, I will not die like this. I'd rather hire someone to kill me than rot in bed or drown in my own urine and feces like that good little green shit laugh. Pretty base there, Tukhachevsky. Base or something. Kurenkov didn't flinch, giving a smirk, watching in rounds from one corner of the room to another, keeping a light cigar, polluting the room with smog of burnt tobacco. He was like a book of evidence under his armpit, just inch away from his holster. And you know, Misha, you would die. Zivna is merciful, but even her charms can't resist the grip of Chernobog. I'm afraid you can't beat Adrian, not even your steel wedges can harm him. Listen. Tukhachevsky slowly stood on one knee, searching through the desktop drawers. A appropriate military plans, towers, my other small stuff which hid the main document. The long plan announcement, resignation. Kurenkov smiled while at the side of the dusty document. He even dared let out a regular smoke for such an occasion. Sasha, you have been a great friend in pushing my plans forward. All your books, I bet the church and the goddamn cross were still reigning above my head, but pointed to the scarecrow above his head, burning eyes popping out of the sockets. The bizarre and terrible nose, mouth gaped with a black hole, the likeness of a meteor, its kept glue on the head with the huge ears, hands clenched in a ball of bomb, swollen legs disappeared to a red pestle. It is more than 4 decades ago in English that back then I promised my loyalty to Peron. I promised that I would sow war between nations, unleash the fire-starved chamber of Vedemir. And if I won't finish it, then the one who steps up to my throne will. Who can take such a position? Remember, the gods are not merciful those who cannot keep their laws and blessing to use. And so you get 3 choices over here with 3 different paths over here. Yakir will do. Yishwat Koyan Droset. Chernyakhovsky. Sorry. Chernyakhovsky. Yeah, Chernyakhovsky, yeah. Young blood always pleased God. Ibevetsky. Wise are the ones who get the blessing. Need to find successor. So, the first one, Victor Bevetsky. A Volkishism. Oh, that's a nice portrait of him, by the way. I think a pretty nice portrait overall, though, but that's definitely the next one. The gods and nature favor the bold ones, and the favor those who follow their orders down to the tiniest detail in order to preserve the ancient truth. And they all favor Victor Nikolaevich Bedzvetsky. Born in 1930, somewhere near Kursk, young Victor spent his youth in poverty and misery in his homeland, switched allegiance to Medi. At first, with Kolchakis, the forces of Zhaidovsky, and after that came to Kolchakis once more. It followed them with the forces of the Intermine, before finally the area settled itself in the Scythian control. If there was one thing that Victor respected in the Scythian war, was their racial policies. From 1948, he was forced to join the army. The young man showed nothing but ruthlessness and Scythian pacification squad operating for Tatarstan, and had an Asian regime, a few hundred being his personal kill count. Jesus Christ, dude. That was when he was introduced to the Slavic invaders of Alexander Kurenkov, quickly affiliating himself with the movement of Mikhail Tukhachevsky. He took a chief position in the Korean Slavic academia, greatly developing his ancient pagan scriptures and created his own faction, the Union of Venice. It soon surpassed his overseer in the mastery of primordial knowledge. Once the old martial power passed to him, however, Bedzvetsky was able to use his knowledge once more to climb to the top. Now seeking his final goal unification of all people, obviously, of course. And then humanity through the great cleansing, retaining a place for the world and sweeping away the last fortune. Well, of course. It's always the fucking Indo-European, ancient ass Indo-European. You got the Solar Order in Ukraine, and you got the fucking, you got all sorts of people here. I'm just saying. So we become Velkoslavyanskaya Zemlya. For that, it was just Slavia. So we go from Slavia to Velkoslavia. They got Cherniakovsky. We have that. The Slavic National Redemption Authority. That's that sounds similar to a TNO thing, if I remember correctly. Very similar to a TNO nation over here. National Redemption Authority. I think it's like a Black League thing, if I remember correctly. I don't play TNO in ages, so I don't really know. So correct me in the comments. Few men in history did great things in the ripe age. For one, usually had to wait until the sunset of his life to see the food become reality. This, however, is not the case for Ivan Cherniakovsky. Born in 1907, left being Ukraine, young Ivan Danilovich Cherniakovsky was caught in the chaos of the world. At the Great War, his low 20s in the Russian Civil War forced the young man to switch allegiances and location more than he could imagine, but eventually staying up as a railroad worker and being one of the few brave men behind the evacuation of the Republican forces to Zalatoria, thanks to the knowledge of the Siberian railway networks. Joining the Republican in 1944, he was quick to rise to the rank and thanks to his underlying dedication and using dedication strictness, earning him awe and fear from regular soldiers, something which Marshal Tukhachevsky took a quick notice. He eventually became a general at the age of 27. That's pretty young. I think the point was like 22 when he became a general. I was saying. But the Scythians carved off the former Russia market to Google's movement, but now without troubles. Taking the cut from China, conflict on the lack stand to reduce forces of press for the time being, earning him a warm position. The head is traded to Zina, a paramilitary of Tukhachevsky lords. Now, however, as he stepped into the throne of all Slavdom, he won't wear a mask anymore, ready to bring the Slavs back to the right for collective living and national pride. Remember the old deeds and loyalty to the Bolsheviks, even if he wrapped his vision 1,000 times for the benefit of all Slavs. So he's basically like a Nat-Bull, kind of. We got that Bolshevik teachings before all Slavs over here. Not just Russians, but all Slavs over here. Then you got the Slavic Union. And then you got here. You got a different cabinet over here. If any of you recognize any of the people in like their cabinets and all that, let me know over here. Because I only recognize like a small handful of them, so I do apologize. A military dictatorship, the Slavic Union over here, still keeping his old flag. Tukhachevsky's flag. The Germans of war never stopped their devilish play, and Tukhachevsky's heir will ensure that they continue to strike fear in the world. Iona Emanuilovich Yakir, the first Gazana man who could appear as menacing over Russian men. Born once to Moldova in 1896, Anna Yakir was always at the bottom of the social ladder until he started the Russian Revolution Civil War, where he joined the right faction of the Republican movement, and eventually ended up in the officer ranks of the Russian military. That's when he came into contact with the future boss Mikhail Tukhachevsky. However, once the Japanese pressure Yakir alongside Tukhachevsky and many of his officers escaped to Siberia, but quickly going underground once the Scythian army seized all former Russian lands, and while Tukhachevsky has his own his own clique shook hands with Golad Mode, Yakir preferred self-imposed retirement, highly for almost a decade. Wow. Once Golov was no more, however, and the band of Slavdom were raised on Moscow, Yakir was the first man to return to service. And thanks to his favorite Grand Marshal and now the rise of all Slav, became the head of the Slavic General Staff, de facto becoming the right-hand man of Tukhachevsky and being the mastermind behind every one of his moves. Vaz felt that he was quick to appoint his prodigy to the throne, and now sitting on top of the gangster structure, Yakir was ready to continue the course of his mentor. And for all the other world from Gibraltar to Japan would fear the sound of Slavic boots marching. So he definitely the most imperialistic, but also the sort of like the continuation over here. Kind of like a Vodka Bornik, but for Tukhachevsky this time around. So you got the gamer, you got the Nat-Bull, and then you got the regular imperialist dude over here for Tukhachevsky stuff over here. And yeah, that's oh yeah, the generals over here. I forgot about this. All little bonus over here. These are all the generals and field marshals over here. I think there's a few of them over here. Parkhomenko, Alexei Chernigobov, Hrushchev Fredrik von something over here. Yefim Montanov, you were a teaser posted, I think, over here. And hey, Anatoly Mosny, hey, I remember you from TNO. You were the Satanist dude, but now it's developing as brother, instead of being a lot, being a Satanist and the brother of Cain, you're now LARPing as a fucking Scythian. Cool. Cool. That's a lost your left eye. That's interesting. Now we'll get a story about that. Anyway, Jody Sheffer over here. This. There's a I think I can show you a teaser video as well. Mykola Pavlenko over there. Ivan Kolonov. I think I've heard of you. Vladimir Petrushev, Alexei Donin, and Dmitry Antonov. I feel like I know you, but I don't really know you. Anyway. But yeah. Here's like the devs over here. Shout out to Lev Sarov, Mom 1909, Python Slate. He's the head dev of JD. He's the factor head over here. Indy, Ed Jerkop Cooper. Round of applause to all of them working on this over here. I am very, very interested in all this over here. I'm very excited about whatever Russian content over here. I have some ideas for series over here, but as I said before, this won't be coming out in the demo or the beta. It shall instead be during the full release, if I remember correctly. Don't know where that's gonna come. Yeah, I heard it was gonna. The full release is gonna be sometime in the summer. But considering how long it's been, and some of the personal stuff going on with the dev teams over there, I don't know if that's gonna still be a thing or that might have been pushed back. If I find out anything, I'll let you guys know. And oh yeah, they do its we also announced application stuff over here for like coders, writers, graphics artists, etc. So I'll do like a developer application thing in the Discord. If you wanna apply to them over there, you can. You don't have to, but if you wanna see shit like this come out faster, I recommend it though over here. Or we just really like the stuff over here. Because there's a lot of interesting things over here. All sorts of things over here from That's Crow, Eurasian, Tukhachevsky's, and all this little thing over here, and the religious fundamentalists, or the lax fundamentalists, we specific over here. And also the neat and little cool things we got going on over in Russia for all the past over here. Depending on how the Eurasian war goes and all that stuff. Well, at least I assume it depends on the Eurasian war going on there. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just gonna say that it is until proven otherwise because I have no idea. But yeah, I very much am excited for this. Whenever it comes out, I have no idea when the demo is gonna come out over here. That's gonna come out first. Hopefully it comes out soon, just so we can get like an estimation on that though, and we can see how things are progressing up over here. And hopefully whatever going on with the dev team at JD, they can solve it over here. And, like I understand over here, like I don't know what's going on over there, but hope everyone's doing great over here. If you need to take time off, fine. Like what? Much as I would like to put it now here, like at the end of the day, this is their thing. If they a little side thing over here. If they like have some personal issues coming up later, that's their thing. They should have time off for themselves. So, with that over here, I will see you guys and whatever I do next over here. Very much I'm interested in all the stuff that we got going on in this over here. Very curious to see what else is gonna be changed over here, because especially with Red Flag getting the 2.2 update. Very curious to see if there's gonna be like any changes over here with JD. But we shall see. So anyway, again, shout out to all these people over here. Great job everyone. And also see you guys and whatever I do next.